Today I want to compare 4 different, very similar, even balanced badminton rackets from Yonex, specifically for the low, intermediate or mid-intermediate level. I'll be looking at the Arcsaber 11 Play, the Arcsaber 7 Tour, the Nanoflare 800 game and the Nanoflare 1000 game. Not all of them are exactly perfectly even balanced, but it is super close and it can be difficult to figure out which one is best suited for you if you like this kind of rackets. Now I haven't been able to test the Arcsaber 7 Play because it's very beginner friendly, I understand, and also the Arcsaber 11 Tour and Pro, as they require better skills than I have. So if you're within my level, the low to mid-intermediate level, you can probably skip those 2 rackets as well. As usual, I've had each of these rackets on court for at least 10 hours to feel how they play. I bought them with my own money to make this an unbiased comparison. I'm Aske from beastbadminton.com and let's dive right in. If we start with the Arcsaber 11 Play, which is by far the most flexible of the 4, this one is most suitable for the low intermediate player, maybe the player who's super rusty and haven't been on court for a while, but wants something that isn't too fast without any power, but also doesn't want anything that's super powerful, but requires Hulk to move around the court. It's very suitable for doubles players, comes at a great price, but when you're moving up to the mid-intermediate level, I do find that it begins to feel too flexible and I wanted something that was more crisp, more responsive and more stiff in the shaft. Overall, awesome racket if you're a high beginner, low intermediate player playing doubles and you want an all-around racket. I've played with this one for like a year and just loved it. Next, we have the Arcsaber 7 Tour. And now I got the Tour edition because the Pro wasn't available, but I understand that they're super similar, so I feel like you might be getting a fair representation between the Tour and the Pro, even if I'm just talking out the Tour relative to the 3 other badminton rackets in this comparison. As far as I can tell, the Arcsaber 7 Tour and Pro is the natural upgrade from the Arcsaber 11 Play for intermediate players. Since the Arcsaber 11 Play is more high beginner, low intermediate, and the 11 Pro and Tour is for upper intermediate advanced players because of the stiffness. But it's also a touch stiffer than the 11 Play, and so for me this felt like a natural upgrade because I wanted something that was super similar to the 11 Play, just more responsive and crisper. And this is as close as I have gotten so far, even though it has slightly less power and slightly more speed. Now, for me, the issue is I wish I could get a little bit more power on the clears, but I've actually found that with another racket, so let's move on. The third racket is the Nanoflare 800 game. Now, if it looks a little bit different, it's because the head has extra strings on the string bed, meaning that there's more power in your shot, or at least it feels that way. Bounces off the racket, which is super useful in, say, drive duels, in doubles where things are just moving super fast. But I also found that it was easier for me to make mistakes in defense, and the difference in how the shuttle is reacting when it's bouncing off of the string bed compared to, say, the Arcsaber 7 Tour. With the 800 game, I actually found that I had a bit more power than with the Arcsaber 7 Tour, which is exactly what I was looking for. But comparing the 2 directly, I found that I would actually rather stay with the Arcsaber 7 Tour and improve my skills either in the tactical skill of not playing clears when I'm not confident that I can clear to the back line, or improving my stroke skills and adding more power to my shots. On the other hand, the 800 game probably felt like the fastest of the 4 rackets and was lots of fun overall. And for doubles games, for a racket that doesn't have power, this one has probably been the one that has been the easiest for me to generate power when I'm in trouble, under pressure, and really need that extra help with power. Surprisingly, I actually found the Nanoflare 1000 game to be more powerful in a single smash shot, but I also found it much harder to generate that power because the smaller sweet spot means that I had to hit it more cleanly on every shot, which is even harder when you're under pressure, and that's when you need the help even more. I also found that the whippy effect of the shaft required quite a bit of adjustment in my technique to get used to, and I found it a bit too difficult for me to play with in every shot, all around the court, in every game, whether it's no pressure or a lot of pressure. And so, even though this one has more power and is still quite fast, I would actually pick the 800 game if we're just talking about power in doubles games, simply because it was easier for me to generate power when I really needed it and didn't have time to do a big swing. Overall, I'm staying with the Yonex Arcsaber 7 Tour, simply because I want that bit more control from the string bed, as opposed to the repulsion that I was getting with the 800 game and the extra string that it has in the string bed. Now over to you. Which of these 4 rackets is most exciting for you? Do you have any of them? Leave a comment below. I'm Aske from Beast Badminton, and if you want more in-depth reviews for each of these rackets, they're right on the channel and on the blog. I'll see you on court.